nothing for my week. So we're all together in this one today. Sometimes I've pre-prepared a little bit. Today's Sunday. I know that because I was at church on time. That's it. It's the only reason I know today's Sunday. So, let me flip to my book before I get started. Does anybody have any pressing questions or anything that I can help you with while we're here? Debbie, that was a good question that you asked. A lot of times just getting it out there. Okay, so tomorrow is the 25th, okay? Today's National Compliment Day. We don't want to forget that for our social media. That's going to be a really good post today. Tomorrow's the 25th, okay? And I'm always honest with you guys. I am just not even going to lie, including me. Like, we really all need to ramp it up some. Being the 25th of the month, like we have a handful of days left, and I think we're just like a little over 40,000 as a team right now. And that's I know that's pretty low. And honestly, that only happens whenever a lot of us are doing like a very little. Because if the great majority of us were doing even our average amount of work, like our average, and this is always strange because there's some people that are like killing it right now, and it's always like that. So you may be having like a really high month, and that's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. But if in fact you're listening to me and you know that I'm talking to you like I'm talking to myself right now, it's totally time to pick it up, because it is. Tomorrow's the 25th of the month, and yeah, we're like 42,000 right now, which is basically like unheard of. So we need to step it up. We need to motivate as much as we can and as well as we can, encourage within the team to just really do our best and work to our potential. And I think that's something that I would like to keep everyone focused on throughout this year is we all know each other. The ones that show up here, we know each other pretty well. And we know when we are working to our potential and when we're not. And at the end of the day, if you have something that's holding you back, it's time to deal with it. It is time to deal with it and, work through it. And it's probably going to pop up again, but teach yourself how to work through it. Or else, like I mentioned last week, we're going to be sitting right here at the exact same time next year, and you're going to be in the exact same place that you are right now because you didn't work through your stuff. So you've got whatever it is that's holding you back, you have absolutely got to work through it because you got two options: work through it or stay where you are. And that second one sounds awful. So, I'm preaching to the choir here, preaching to the choir. So looking back, before we get started, we have been getting started by looking back on last week. So let's all take a handful of minutes. Let's look back at last week. Let's see if there's anything that was on I even hate to call it a to-do list. What is the one thing, call it, Natasha? It's a success list. Is that it? One of the books I've read somewhere along the way says not to call it a to-do list, to call it a success list. Like the little things that don't mean anything and they just like have to be done, like take the trash out. That's a to-do list. Like the things that should be on the list are the list of things that move us forward. So let's look back at last week and let's see if there are any things that we did not get accomplished in this last week that need to be replaced onto our week this week, okay? Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you.
Can you do me the hugest favor and please help me with the pronunciation of your name so that I do it right?
Absolutely. It's Praegion.
Oh, that's beautiful. Praegion.
Yes.
So we are getting started, and the first thing that we do during Strategy Sunday is we look back at the past week, and I use a timer during this working session, and I've set the timer for just 5 minutes for us to look back at last week and hold ourselves accountable for the things that we didn't really get accomplished or didn't get done in moving forward in our business last week that are important to us that need to go on our list this week. So that's the first thing that we're doing. I have set my timer and we're all going to be a little quiet for a few minutes looking at our own calendars. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Great.
Hello.
Hey, Mickey, we are just reviewing our last week for a few minutes. We just have a couple of minutes left reviewing our last week, okay? All right. Okay, so now that we've taken a look back at the last week, I mentioned before, you know, today's the 25th of the month. I hope that you made some progress last week towards the goals that you've set. But here in this last week of the month, let me look at the calendar real quick. Okay, when we meet next Sunday, it's the last day of the month. So if you have this week from today to next Sunday to hit your goals for the month. The beginning of the year, at the end of last year, at the beginning of this month, you said that these things are important to you. We all said that these things were important to us. And what can happen often is when you get to this last day, this last week of the month, you look at your goals and maybe you're farther behind than you want it to be. Maybe you're rocking it, maybe you're even ahead. But if you find yourself further behind, I want you to do me a favor. Take just a second to be disappointed, like, oh, right? And then make a plan. And that's what we're doing today. You do not X out the goal because you're far from it, because it makes you feel better. Because that's what people generally do. That's what people that become unsuccessful or do not find the success that they're looking for in something like this, or actually in most things, they do. When they find themselves not in the position that they want it to be, they just, oh, well, I'm just going to do this actually this month. Or that thing that I said that I wanted, or reason, or it's actually not that big of a deal. I'm just going to do it next month. And they go ahead and they give up now. And I know that because I've seen it time and time again. I've also experienced it myself. And so I'm really going to encourage you to let that not be you this week. You have 7 days. That is a lot of actual time to get your goals in. Okay. And so having an idea of what it is that you need to accomplish this week, I want you to go ahead and take a look at it and write it down. How many new customers is that? How many preferred customers is that? What's your PSQV? Are you bringing on new business partners? Are you launching new business partners? How many conversations are you attempting to have this week? And so I want us to take a couple of minutes and I want us to jot down. There's power in writing things down. So I want you to jot down what it is that needs to be done. And if you need help with this, I want you to ask, okay? Okay. I want to share something with you on goals and achievement before we move on to the next one. But it's an acronym somebody told me once and I wrote it down. It's been stuck in this notebook and I just flipped to it. It's called GROW. And you're taking your goals, so whatever it is you said, right? And you're asking yourself what the reality is, which was what we're going to do in just a second. What does your week look like? How much time do you have? Things of that nature, right? What are your obstacles and what are your options? We're also, that's going to be the next step as well. So what obstacles do you know that are coming? What options do you have? Because successful people, they may see obstacles, but they see options. It's okay, this is what I have that can be an obstacle that could stump me up. Now, what are my options to go around? And the last one is, what are you willing to do to get there? So what are your goals, reality, obstacles, and options, and what are you willing to do to get there? And that's what we're going to hash out today for this next week. That's what you're going to hash out, is what are you willing to do? That may mean, like, I've been taking Saturdays off and we've been doing family stuff. And I just got done saying, listen, if Friday comes and I'm not where I want to be, Saturday's on, right? And that's the freedom that we have to be able to do with our time there. And so you're going to have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get there? Okay. And that's a big question, because I run into a lot of people that say that they're willing to do anything. They'll do whatever it takes, that this is so important to them. And in fact, their actions say that it's not. So let's make sure that our calendar and our actions say that it is as we move forward. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at our week, and we're going to go ahead and block out those times that already have appointments or things you cannot move, okay? So that's if you work a job and you have hours you need to be somewhere, if you volunteer somewhere, that's our homeschool time, anything like that. We're going to put down the hours that cannot be used for our Rodan and Fields work. All right, you guys need any extra time? Okay, let's do what we always do. Let's use the chat. If you're done with something before the timer goes off, so we don't waste any time, just go ahead and pop done in the chat, and then I can see it and we can roll forward. Okay, so we have what we want to accomplish. We have the times that we absolutely cannot accomplish it. The next thing I want to do before we actually do our time blocks for what we're going to do is let's actually go ahead and explore social media posting right now before we fill in our time blocks for our Rodan and Fields work. Let's go ahead and explore what we're going to be posting about. So I think, first of all, we have free preferred customer enrollment for the rest of the month. And so where we don't always want our social media to look like a throw up of Rodan and Fields, I'm going to give you a tip. Towards the end of the month, when you are like pushing hard for goals that you set for yourself, there's two things. One, can't post too much. It's totally fine. Okay. Two, delete it after 24 hours, because you don't want your timeline to be junky. And that's why I like stories, is because you can post about the business or the products or whatever every single day, and you should be in your stories. Those things go away after 24 hours. But say for me, I'm 4 new preferred customers short of my goal. And so my campaign this week is going to be, I'm looking for 4 new customers. I'm actually probably going to do like a little giveaway with it as well, to put a little excitement in there. And so I'm going to be rolling with that all week. I'm also going to delete all of those posts once it's done, and probably even the next day. Like once I put up a new one, I'll probably take down the old one because it's junky. And then also when the first of the month comes around, you know how Facebook likes to show you a post that somebody posted 3 days ago? Well, on the first, second, and third of February, you don't want people going, oh, I just saw your post. You've got free enrollment. And you're like, no, that was 3 days ago, right? So that's another reason our social media, that's just our storefront. You're just posting. And if you heard what I was just talking about on the team page, please make sure that you are not just like throwing posts up and doing things like that. That's your marketing, that's your social media campaigning, but you must be asking people the question. They're not just going to flock to you. Like, unless you just have some magic miracle marketing glow that, I don't really think anybody has, you can still be really good at what you do, and you still need to be asking the question. Okay, so there's that. So let's look at what we're going to be doing. I would suggest that if you are short of your goal in some way, that you put it out there like that, because people they like to be part of stuff like that. I have probably had some of my better end of the months whenever I do a campaign like that, 4 orders away or 4 customers away or something like that. And I do a little giveaway inside of it. I'll probably just give away like a body moisturizer for all. Actually, I think I'm already doing that. A body moisturizer for all orders that are placed in January. And so I would suggest giving yourself something to market around. And then I love bundles for the end of the month. We can share with people that they get free enrollment perks, and that if they bundle a regimen plus the roller, or a regimen plus the pore sucker, or a regimen plus lash boost, then they save an extra 20% on that extra addition.
Something I do on the days when I'm feeling really like I'm looking all right and I take my selfies. I take one, just a regular one, so I can post anything I want with it, but I almost always do a 4, 3, 2, 1. That way I always have a picture of myself holding up how many more orders that I need. And it's fun to be like, okay, only 2, like I just took it because I only need 2 more. But I'm like, psych, I took it like 3 months ago.
I love that. I think that that's a great idea. So let's go ahead, and we don't have time to get super detailed, but I want you to go ahead and tell yourself what you're posting about this week, which products are you really going to be pushing, and then also we have a gift with enrollment for the business, and we are really focusing this year, especially inside of our team. We are building our teams. Okay, that is what we are doing in 2021. You are building your teams. Just because nobody said yes to you yet in these 24 days of the month, we just got started. Do not get discouraged. Do not stop. Do not slow down. Okay, you are building your team. There are so many people that are out there that, especially right now, need or are looking or could use something fun, and they don't know about what you're doing. Okay. guys need any more time? If you do, that's okay. You need more time? Okay. We're making great time today.
As I was making my plan, I was like, oh, I need to remember to post about the free gift to join for new consultants. And then I was like, what was I going to do for that? And then I was thinking, like, when was the last time you shared your short story online? Like, when was the last time you went live with your own story?
Yep.
It's better than a picture.
We talked about that briefly Friday night before my event. Trish and I have been throwing that around a little bit. When the last time was, we just hit the live button on our profile and shared.
If you thought it then, and I thought it today, it's in the atmosphere.
Yep.
I need to do it.
I have it.
I got it written for my week. I'm going to do it later this week.
Good. Yep. I think it's important, and I think we overthink that some. We're very concerned again about what we think, and is it going to be too long, or do people even care, or do whatever? When at the end of the day, social media is just a tool. It's a free tool that we get to use. Why in the world wouldn't we share our own stories and our own hearts with the people that are on our feed in hopes that it might reach one of them, that they might be able to see just a little bit of themselves in what we're doing so that we could help them? That's crazy. And it really is going, in a lot of the studying that I've been doing, it's one of the most selfish things that we do is overthink about ourselves when we're trying to actually help others.
Like Wendy Lee said, if your ideal client is anything like you, she might want to hear your story.
Yep. You know that typically your ideal client is you. I mean, it really is. Mickey, let me know whenever you're ready, okay?
I was just about to click and say I think I'm good.
Okay. I'll run through nationaltoday.com. Today is National Compliment Day. And so I really would suggest putting it up on your feed and having your friends tag somebody in the comments and pay them a compliment. Okay, I think that's going to be the best way to use this. There's a bunch of ways you can use it, but I just think that'd be so cool. And
Say that again, how you would use it?
I'm just going to put either a picture that says compliment day, or I'm going to put a picture of myself up, because everybody, like, if you put a selfie up, people are going to stop. Okay. And so I'll probably put a selfie up and like use word swag and write compliment day on it or something. And then say today's National Compliment Day. Tag a friend and pay them a compliment in the comments.
The only downside to that is if they're not your friend, they're not going to see the tag.
I'm going to make it public.
Oh, well then there you go.
Yep.
Or you could say, if you're feeling like you need a compliment today, raise your hand and I'm going to give you one.
Gosh, I love that. No. It's too good and it's too positive not to use it. Okay. And all right, so today, let me get down here. That's today. Tomorrow, another one for today, actually, you can put in your stories. Today's National Peanut Butter Day, and you could like do a poll for who's allergic to peanut butter. And of course, again, the more people that interact in your poll, the more visible your stuff is. And so that's a really easy one to pop up in your stories. Okay. Tomorrow, the 25th, is National Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day. It's actually opposite day, so that's kind of fun. And National Irish Coffee Day. And then the 26th is Australia Day, and we are open in Australia. And so I think it'd be really cool if you use that to say, who do you know in Australia? Or have you ever been to Australia? And it is also National Peanut Brittle Day and National Spouses Day. And so I think that National Spouses Day could be used also for, what's a fun fact about your spouse or something like that. That could be used in so many different ways.
And those are on Tuesday, Sarah?
Yeah, Tuesday is Tuesday's the 26th. Yep. And then the 27th is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And of course, that's very important. Do you have anything that you want to share on that one? And then not as important, but a little more fun is it's National Chocolate Cake Day. So there's, I would actually love a great recipe for a chocolate cake. That'd be awesome. I always like the food days because it's very easy to ask for what's your favorite recipe using this, or what's the best dish you've ever had that includes, whatever. People love to tell you about that kind of stuff, and I love collecting that kind of information. So the 28th is Thursday, and it's National Daisy Day. Isn't that cute? And also National Kazoo Day, which is not very cute at all. And then it's National Lego Day, which I think is awesome. The 29th, Friday, is National Fun at Work Day. You could absolutely share a fun story about some of the stuff that we do. And it's also National Puzzle Day. I am a big puzzle nerd. I am a puzzle nerd, so I will be sharing something about National Puzzle Day. The 30th is Saturday, and it's National Croissant Day. Sounds like a great day. And then the 31st is National Hot Chocolate Day. So there's some social media ideas you should have on your calendar now. You should have the bones of a great social media week. I believe that as long as it's, as much as I hate this word and it's overused, as long as it's authentic, as long as it's you showing up online and being real with all the other humans online and using it in a positive way right now, because we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, you can open social media right now and it can be a cesspool. And you can decide that you don't want anything to do with it and blah, 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 and all this stuff, or you can open it and see it for what it is, and it is a tool to spread whatever it is that you want to spread, and you can add a little light. I really, really encourage you guys to add a little sparkle out there, okay? So you should have the bones of a great social media week, and we should be ready now to work on our specific time blocks. I will tell you that I don't have my list in front of me, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. So if we get through this and you're like, Sarah, we didn't do this thing that we always do, please just tell me, because I feel like we're forgetting something, but I don't see it here. So now we have in our calendar, what is it?
You always have us schedule in our personal time, and we didn't do that.
That's it.
Our me time.
That's it. So think back to the priorities that you set for this year outside of Viridian and Fields and what you accomplish in your business, whatever those priorities are to you and you. So I want you to schedule your me time, whether that's your morning time or an afternoon walk. I want you to schedule your time if you have children, a spouse, your dog, whatever, your parents, whatever it is that deserves your time, that you want to have your time, please write that down. So I've given examples before, but since you haven't been here before, some examples are like on Friday afternoons, I've been spending time with my parents, so I block that off because, we just don't know how much longer that we have there. And so I want to make sure to spend some intentional time there. And then I do sleepovers with my daughters during the week as well. And I have specific hours of certain days that I am absolutely not working and I'm with my family. So. It's actually a great time for me to bring up. This is the last week of the first month of 2020, and I do a lot of talking about taking care of yourselves. And this past week, I heard Bob Heilig say something along the lines of, if your business is running you, we talk about the freedom and the things that we love about this. But he brought up a very good and honest point. If your business is running you, if you're always doing this, if it's consuming your mind in a negative way, not an exciting way, then this could be the worst job you've ever had. And so you have to make sure that you are putting boundaries in there, and that you are, intentionally, specifically, like working this as a business, and you're moving it forward, and you're moving the needle, and you're doing it on purpose, but also that you're unplugging. So let me tell you the other side to this. As long as I've been working this business, month end week is always different. And in my home, they know that. I set the expectations. They always know that month end is a different day. Like, you feed yourselves, people. There's pot pies in the freezer. Like, don't talk to me, because I'm doing things. And they know that. And so if you're kind of new to this and you're struggling with boundaries and things like that, or how am I going to do this, please know that the last week of the month is important. And so you may end up making sacrifices. Often we do make sacrifices, especially in that last week of the month, because this is important to us. We're building a business. And I've never met one person that built a successful business that didn't make sacrifices. So this week may look a little different for you. Okay, guys. You need any more time with that? All right. All right. So the last block and most important block, we're going to take the time blocks that we see open in our calendar, the real time. We talk about, that GROW acronym, what are our goals, what's the reality. We now have the reality of the amount of time we actually have to work our business right in front of us. Okay. You can see some of the obstacles that are going to maybe come in your way. Some things that are happening this week. And so you're aware. You've got reality in front of you. And now you have to put down what you're willing to do to get there. And so take your time blocks, mark them out for your RNF business, and inside of the time block, tell yourself what you're going to be doing. Is that 30-minute time block going to be the time block where you reach out to 15 to 20 people and invite them to take your solution tool, or invite them to look at this new fun business that you're doing, or invite them to an event that you created at the last minute because that's a really great idea to talk to a lot of people. It's a lot less creepy and weird and awkward and all the stuff to be like, hey, Susie, you want to come to this fun thing that I'm doing? Okay. And I wanted to tell you guys, for follow up, I'm going to talk about this a little tomorrow too, but follow up for those of you guys that were around on Friday. So I invited 75 people. I had 23 people tell me that, yeah, they'd be there. That sounded like a ton of fun to send them a link. I had 2 people that showed up. Okay. That's a little lower than I wanted. I want to take you all through this journey with you, with me, because I think it's important for you all to see firsthand that I'm no different than any of you guys. I have had very successful events, fun, successful packed in person events and stuff like that. I've had more events than I can count that nobody shows up to. And what do we say about that, Natasha?
Nobody knows that no one was there if no one was there.
That's it. Nobody knows, right?
You have a party and nobody knows it was just you.
Yeah, yep. And this was lower than I expected. I was really disappointed not to see a few people that were, you know, when I followed up with them on Friday morning, they were like, "Oh my gosh, thanks, can't wait. See you at 7:30." And then what has happened over the weekend is I have gotten a total of 9 messages from people that said that they were going to be there, that either made an excuse, whatever they needed to do, told me they were sorry they missed it. A couple people that I know good and well, they're active duty and they really got caught up at work, couldn't make it, whatever. And so these are continuing conversations. One of the girls that was there is actually looking at possibly buying a business kit and getting a lot of the stuff because she has a lot of stuff on her mind that she wants. And so I would love for her to do that. And so why I'm sharing this with you is because it's a process. It's just a process. And an event is my personal favorite way to do it because all these people that didn't come, I have continued natural conversation with them. I'll invite you to the next one. We had so much fun. And that's it. And then we go on. Okay. So think about how you're going to use your time most effectively to hit your goal. What are you willing to do to get to the goal that you set for yourself at the beginning of this month? Set the timer for 10 minutes for this, okay? Deb, no, we don't have travel size. We release travel size, at least for the past few years. We release travel size once a year, and it's normally in the summer. Yeah, sure.
I sent a message, Sarah, when I was trying to get into the chat.
I figured.
Yeah. And then also, I was kind of like giggling on the side here while we're doing our work. So I decided from based off of 2 weeks ago when we had our get together, I was like, all right, I need to do a virtual event. End of the month, gotta go. So I have one this Wednesday, and then we did yours the other day. So I was like, Zoom, we're zooming it. Zoom, right?
Yep.
And this morning, I woke up a lot earlier than I normally do. And I did the greatest salesman in the world book.
Really good.
In my journal, kind of like what Wendy was talking about, right? So I was like, let me give this a try. So I sent out a few messages to the people that were interested in RF but never went through. So I was like, hey, event Wednesday, da 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 da. And the reason why I'm giggling is because now I noticed I'm getting more responses versus being ghosted. And I was like, I wonder what could have, helped them decide to like respond to me. It's so crazy that now they're responding. So I just thought it was funny. That's all.
It is. I loved what you did. I'm really excited for you. They gift us so well for what we do. There's a lot of emotional stuff that goes in what we do, lots of fun, but we talk about this a bit. We signed up with Rodan and Fields for whatever reason that we did to move products for them. And the best way to do that is to build a team of people that can move more products, right? We talked about last year, our team, just my team, started with just me, one person, sold just shy of $1 million in products for them last year, okay? That starts with one person, and the way that you do that is building a team. And they gift us so well for just doing what we signed up to do anyway. I'm so excited for you. You absolutely earned it and deserve it.
I think it also speaks to a lot of women because, most women don't feel appreciated all the time. And to get like a random gift and to have your job recognize your achievements, so many of my friends are always like, when was the last time my job gave me a free gift? Because I did a great job, because I did my job. Like they don't. People like to feel appreciated. And you're like, hello, just a reminder. Me here.
Yep. Absolutely. Do you guys need any more time? Our 10-minute timer went off. I got most of my stuff filled in. I don't know about your guys. I'd love to hear about it. My calendar this week looks a little different, but it looks very typical to a month-end calendar. I've definitely given up. I've sacrificed some time periods that I normally do family stuff. That's pretty usual for end of the month for me. And I have one goal in front of me. My goal is 4 new customers and 1 business partner. And everything in my calendar is whatever it takes to get there. That's it. And if that's what your calendar looks like for this coming week, I applaud you, because that's going to be the difference between you and someone who is not successful and where you are and where you want to be. Whether or not I end this month with 4 new customers and a business partner, only God knows. I have no idea, but I know the effort I'm about to put into it.
You can't bring the customers, but you can bring the work that gets the customers.
I can. I absolutely can. So, and you guys can too. I believe in this team. so much. It's absolutely insane. And I've seen it on fire. And I think we got big things coming this year. I'm excited for it. Does anyone have questions before we go?
I know you're covering events tomorrow, but do you think that your event, because it was on a Friday, that maybe people got busy and they look forward to the weekend? Like, do you think maybe a Thursday would have been better?
So
Or do you think it matters?
I don't think it matters. I get asked a lot, what's the best day to do an event? My answer is I have no idea. You have to look at the people you're inviting. So if you know something about the people you're inviting, then don't invite them on a night that you know good and well they've got other plans or whatever. But for me, my market is so diverse, and yours probably is too, that I picked Friday night. And the reason I picked it was because I was thinking that still during a COVID time, people aren't places on Friday, and maybe they would want something fun to do. So that is why I picked Friday. I generally actually never pick Friday. I normally pick Thursdays. And so when I do this event next time, it will be on a Thursday, and that's going to be me testing out my market. So, but I'm a canceller. I am, the older I get, the more I think maybe I'm actually an introvert. I love to cancel plans. I love to be alone. Like, I like the quiet. And I can absolutely see some of the people, as I look at my list, some of the people that said yes that didn't show up. I see that in them too. So I believe that maybe Friday evening came around and they in fact did not want to be around that. That it sounded fun on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and even Friday morning. Because I followed up with all of them. They all, a couple of them gave me a thumbs up, you know. And a couple of them didn't respond, but the majority of all 23 of those wrote me back. So I can imagine them getting to 7:30 Friday night and being like, nope.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's what it is for sure. Anyone
I
else?
wanted to share if you guys can send me some good vibes today, because in 2 hours I have a 3-way call with a potential, and Trisha is going to help me with it. And she did my friend, you know, she wants to make another stream of income, so we're just doing the follow-up. And then of course Wednesday my virtual event. So good vibes, guys, please. I need it. I would love it.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Yes, you're gonna do great. I pray for you all every single day. Sometimes it's individually, and sometimes, I won't lie, it's a blanket prayer where I pray for the team. And I will really give you some specific good stuff this week for that, because you have just stepped out and been so brave and so bold. And I know you're doing everything that it takes to build your business.
You can never go wrong putting yourself out there.
You can't. All right, if you guys don't have any